Hi, my name's Flight Lieutenant Neil Ostrikowski, otherwise known as Ski, and I'm this year's RAF Tutor Display Pilot. So I started the Air Force, went through training in 1997, and then since that time I've been a captain pilot on the Nimrod, MR2 up at Kinloss, and then I've been instructing on the Tutor both as a QFI for elementary students, but also then teaching other instructors to be instructors and checking them out on standards flight. I'm in the fortunate position that every tutor display pilot get to create their own sequence and put together their own display. We get guidance because there's things that you haven't necessarily thought about, just basic aerobatics, which are different with display flying aerobatics. What I've tried to do this year is I've looked at all the manoeuvres I want to fly, and I've tried not to repeat them many times. So hopefully there's never more than 2 manoeuvres the same throughout the whole sequence, and that only happens I think once. And I'm just trying to keep the airplane moving. There's nothing more boring than watching a tutor fly straight and level. So I am constantly trying to go from one manoeuvre flow into the next and try and keep it a nice tight display so it all happens in front of you, but it's constantly moving. For me, the most challenging aspect is the initial manoeuvre. So I have my most energy, my most speed, and flying towards the crowd as well. So I'm quite keen to not overfly that crowd, and the wind has a massive impact on this aeroplane. So I have to make sure I pull up early enough to not overfly the crowd, but also not do it too early so that you can still see me and get some of the effect. Then I'm in position for the next manoeuvre. And providing that first manoeuvre goes well, then I'm set then, and it should work quite nicely. So you can see from the cockpit layout, it's a fairly basic cockpit. We've got the joystick in the centre, which is mirrored with the instructors. So normally your student pilots will sit in the right-hand seat, and indeed that's where I fly throughout my displays. Instructors will fly in the other seat. Got a console in the middle which shares the throttle, the RPM lever and the mixture, and then we can see from here we've also got the flaps which clearly take off, land, folds just a bit more flat for landing if required. We've got the magnetos here and all the other electrical switches. The basic cockpit instrumentation for flying on instruments here is the attitude indicator. This is an electronic version of a compass effectively, the altimeter, airspeed indicator and the turn needle. And in the centre console here we've got the radios, and also our navigation equipment. We've got a panel here that tells us if things are going wrong, and then a GPS here, and then all the remainder of the instruments. We've got some engine instruments, otherwise they're mirrored for the instructor, and then all the circuit breakers down the side there as well.